Welcome to the tutorial for Integrated Accounting for Windows, and we're going to start on page 28 and 29. So open your books up to 28 and 29, and we're going to do the first 7 steps on page 29. So step 1 is to start this accounting package. So I'm going to double click it, and there's the book, and you can see that the first thing we're going to do is open up a file. So let's click on Open. And the file we want to open up is problem 01-S. The S stands for sample. So here's problem 01-S. Double click it. First thing I want you to do is put your name there. So I'll put Al Wallace. Okay. And next they want you to save this file. Step 4. So we're going to say save as, and I'm going to say the file is 01-S and then a space and then ALWALLACE. I've done this before, so you can see there's the, it's asking if I want to save it with that name. So yes, I do. Click Save. Now let's take a look at step 5. Experiment with the accessing the help system. This is like every other help system with every other piece of software. You click on Help and go to Contents and Index, and there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's about 8 or 9 little separate areas for help. It also has a help index. It also has a search area for help topics, just like most other software. I do want to go back just for a second to talk about why we've saved this with our name. The reason why we saved this, and look at the top here, you can see that this file that we're working with now is the 01-S file with Al Wallace, and we saved that with our name on it for 2 reasons. One, so we never touch the original data file in case this gets corrupted. We'll always have that to lean back on. And the second thing is you're going to send me all these data files that I'm asking for so I can check them and give you a grade on them. And this Al Wallace, in this case, gives me the name of who you are so I can put your grade down. So it's for grade purposes, and also it's so you don't ever corrupt the original data file. Now let's go on, and we've done step 5. Step 6 is we're going to use the on-screen calculator. So click it, and let's multiply 245 times 5%, 5 and the percent sign. And it looks like we get 12.25 as our answer, which agrees with what the results should be. In step 6, the bottom there, again, we're near the bottom of page 29. Now we're going to go on to one of the little tools that this software has. And one of the tools it has is called the, the College Planner. It's one of these set-up tools. So let's X out of the calculator and go to Tools, and there's College Planner is the first one. It also has a savings planner, a loan planner, retirement planner, and a notes interest type planner. So they want you to click on annual contribution option, which that's already clicked from our example, and let's plug in all this information that they gave us, which is beginning college savings, $5,000. So put that in, and then we'll put in the annual yield, which is 8.25%. 8.25. The years until college in our example is 8 years. 8 years. Number of years of college, 4. That's already on there. And the annual college cost, which we'll plug this in. And when we plug this number in, it's going to give us what we're looking for, which is the annual contribution. That's what we're looking for up here, remember? So the annual contribution, given the fact that our annual college cost is $15,000, is going to be $4,104.60. And it looks like if you flip over to page 30, you can see that $4,104.60 is the correct answer. You can also see a report in green, which is figure 1.29. And when I hit the report button on the screen here, my report should look just like what's in green at the bottom of page 130. And you can see that we start off with 5,000 in period 1, and we go down to period 8, which is 53,482.77. And that agrees in year 8 with the report on page 30. And it looks like this is exactly the same information, so we've done this correctly. So let's X out of this and go on to step 8, which is in the middle of page 30. X out of this altogether, this little planning tools section. And now they want you to, in step 8, enter the following transactions into the accounting equation and display the accounting equation report. And it looks like their directions are a little bit mixed up. What they should have done is, if you flip over to page 31, the directions are part A, B, C, and D, and then the transactions should have came next, but that's a little editing error they've got. So on page 31, near the top of the page, part A, choose accounting drills by clicking on the drills toolbar button. Well, here's the drills toolbar button. You notice it's got accounting drills highlighted when I hover over it. I'll click on it, and I'm going to go under accounting equation. That's what the kind of drill I want to do. And then we will start putting these transactions in that are over here on page 30, back on page 30. So middle of page, step 8, first transaction is that we received cash from owner as investment for $14,000. So cash goes up $14,000. The capital account goes up $14,000. And notice while I'm doing this that you can see that when I click out of there, you can see that the assets went up $14,000. Liabilities didn't change. Owner's equity went up $14,000, and both sides of the accounting equation both went up the same amount. So when I get this transaction recorded, I'll click OK, and notice that it skips down to the next line. And the next line is, and I'm going to do this and went incorrectly to show you what happens. We paid cash for supplies $335. So I'm going to put a minus $335 here for cash, which is right, minus $335. And I'm going to put a minus $335 for supplies. Now I should put a plus $335, but I'm going to put a minus $335 to show you what happens when you make an error. Minus $335, and I'm going to hit OK, or hit enter. And notice we get a little out of balance little message here. Transaction is out of balance. Okay. Well, so it won't let you go in these transactions, and it won't let you stay in an out of balance state. So let's fix this. So let's put a plus $335 here. And now let's go on to the next transaction. Over here on page 31, transaction 3. Paid cash for insurance $750. So cash is going to go down $750. And the insurance, prepaid insurance is going to go up $750. And we enter there. Next, we have transaction 4, or you might say this happened on the 4th of September, I guess. Paid cash for legal expense $395, so minus $395 under cash, and legal expenses will be a plus over here, way over here, plus $395, hit enter. Then on the 5th, we bought supplies on account for $2,500, so supplies could go up $2,500, and we'll have on account, which is accounts payable, it also goes up $2,500, and we'll enter that. And notice all on just this transaction on this line, that down here below, assets went 2,500, liabilities went 2,500, nothing changed in owner's equity. Both sides of the accounting equation went up the same, so it's okay. So let's go on and click OK. And now we're on to owners withdrew $2,000 for personal use. So minus $2,000 cash. And the owner's withdrawal account is going to be plus 2,000 because everything's got to have the same pluses and minuses. And that's going to be okay. Then we paid cash on account $1,500, so cash goes down $1,500, and the on account means on accounts payable, so we'll put that as a minus $1,500. And notice again, we just paid down a payable, so assets went down, liabilities went down, owner's equity didn't change, and both sides of the accounting equation went down by the same amount, so this one's okay. Let's click OK there. All right, let's now do a report, which is part D of this in the middle of page 31. So click on report, and you can see that this is a report of all the transactions we recorded. Cash, it now has a balance of $9,020. Supplies now has a balance of $2,835. Looks like prepaid insurance has got a balance of $750. Looks like accounts payable has a balance of $1,000. Due to balance for capital accounts $14,000, drawings $2,000, and the legal expenses have a balance of $395. Assets total $12,605. Liabilities plus owner's equity also total $12,605. So it looks like everything's okay, and we are ready to close this. Next, in step 9, identify account classifications, normal account balances, and debit and credit increases for each account in the general ledger. This is another drill. So it says choose accounting drills by clicking the drills. So there's drills and there's account classifications. We're going to pick that. And I'm going to do 3 of these to show you how this works. And the directions for these are going to be on page 31, the middle of the page, step 9, parts A, B, C. And notice that, well, you probably should have noticed a minute ago, that near the bottom of the page, figure 1.30 looks exactly like what I had up there on the exercise part that I was doing for step 8. So, and also, figure 1.31 on page 32, I better go back to that. So, let's see, accounting equation, yeah, and here's go back to report, and this report looks identical to what's on page 32. I'll scroll through it here a little bit. You can see it looks just exactly the same. And if it doesn't look the same when you're doing a sample problem or part A or part B or excuse me, part A, then you need to make sure that the sample is exactly like what you see in the book. And if it is, then that will help you do part A and part B because they're just the same except with a different set of numbers. Okay, so back to this other type of drill here. So let's go back, get out of here, go back to drills, and go to account classification. Like I said, I'm just going to do 3 of these. So select an account. I'll start with cash. Click on next. Select the account classification for the above account. Well, that would be cash as an asset. And then next, what is the normal balance for this account? Well, assets go up with debits and decrease with credits. And the way that their normal balance is how you increase them. So if you increase an asset with a debit, then its normal balance is going to be a debit. So click on debit, go to next. Is this account increased by debit or by credit? I just said assets are increased with debits. So increase with a debit is the right answer. And click on finish. Now let's go to liabilities. Liabilities would be accounts payable. And it is this account's a liability. And next they want to know what's the normal balance for this account? Well, since we went to the other side of the accounting equation, then everything is just the opposite of what assets are. So the way you increase a liability is with a credit, and the normal balance for a liability is a credit. So the balance of this account should be a credit balance, so that's right. Click on next. And the way you increase this type of account is with a credit, because we're on the other side of the accounting equation. And whatever is the way you increase the account is its normal balance. So liabilities have a normal balance of a credit, and the way you increase them is with a credit. So let's click on finish. Let's do one more here. Let's do the fees, which is a revenue account. And let's see, we've got fees would be a revenue type of account. And the way its normal balance is with a credit, because that's the way you increase things since it's on the other side of the accounting equation. And this account is increased with a credit, so that's right. And now let's do one that's not right and see what happens with this little drill. Supplies. Supplies are an asset. They're an asset until you use them up, and then they become an expense. So select the account classification for this. So let's just say revenue. And then, because we know it's an asset, let's say it's a revenue. Then, what's the normal balance for this account? Well, the normal balance for supplies would be an asset, which would be a debit balance. But let's just say credit, just to make this the whole thing wrong. And is the account increased with a debit or with a credit? Well, supplies is an asset, so you would increase it with a debit. But let's just say credit to make it all wrong. So I click on finish, and now let's look at the report. And notice that supplies, the one we messed up on purpose, has all these things in red. And that's how you can tell if you got this correct or not. So you can see how that little drill works. So let's close this out, close out the drill itself. And let's see, now we're on to step, so we just did step 9. So let's go to step 10. Step 10, use the Explore account system to display the cash account's activity and current balance. Okay, so let's see if we can find that. Step A, or part A, rather in step 10, choose the Explore account system by clicking on the Explore account system menu in the reports menu. So there's the reports menu, Explore account system, and now it says part B, click on the plus in front of the chart of accounts. So there's all the accounts that we used in this little set of data files, and they want you to now click on the cash account, and there is all the transactions that happen in the cash account. And this little Explore accounting system might come in handy for you when you're trying to check and see where your errors are at. It lets you go in and look at things that maybe you might want to change later on. Okay, so we can close out of this under part D. So let's X out of this box. And now let's go to step 11, the most important step in this whole little tutorial, which is check your work. I'm going to want you to send data files to me, which I will check and then give you a grade on. So you can check your files before you send them to me with this little check your work option. So it says click check on the toolbar. By the way, I'm on page 33, step 11, near the bottom there. Click check on your toolbar, which is this big check mark. So it says student solution checker. That's what we're looking at. When I check that, notice I got a column here for correct data, a column here for student data, and it's going to compare, when you do this check on regular problems, it's going to compare what the correct answer is to your answer, and it's going to give you a report like this, and it's going to say things like how many items were checked, in this case 32, how many errors were found, 0, the percentage correct, which is 100 in this case, then no errors are made. And it's going to show you some other things. And so far, it looks like we've been working on this for 18 minutes. This report, like I said, will go a long way in helping you get your answers correct before you send them to me. So let's X out of that. And step 12, access the the web browser to learn how to find information on the World Wide Web. Well, I'm going to skip this because you don't really need to do this. I mean, this is something you can do with Google or whatever browser you use. I'm sure it's 10 times better than using something within this little package. So we're going to skip step 12. And step 13, like I said, step 13, save the data file. So once you finish this, we're going to save the data file. And it says here, click Save on the toolbar. Well, let me try that. And nothing popped up. I didn't think so. So Save As would be what I ought to do. Notice mine's already what it should be, which is the name of the file, O1-S, followed by a space, followed by your name. And again, the two reasons why we're doing this is number one, so that you never corrupt your original data file. You know, we start over with that. And two, you can send it to me and I'll know whose file it is. Okay, so we'll click on Save. And then the last thing we're going to do before we end here is step 14 is get out of this session by hitting Exit, which up here is Exit. And I believe our tutorial is complete. So this should be a way to help you understand how to maneuver around this piece of software.